Welcome to the Home and Finance Show. I'm your host, Diana Rice Wilkerson with Fairway Independent Mortgage, and joining me is...
And good morning, I'm Janice Bradley with JB Real Estate Consultants.
We have a wonderful show planned for you today. You know, our favorite group of people to work with are first-time home buyers. We love you guys all, but our favorite group are first-time home buyers. So we have a wonderful show planned for you today, and we're going to be interviewing one of our first-time home buyers that we closed at the end of 2020. But before we do, we want to talk with you about our favorite program to help our favorite group.
Absolutely.
And it's called First Place, and it's offered by Indiana Housing Community and Development Authority. And the way it works is that it is the IHCDA, which is what we call them. They will make a loan to cover your down payment and most of your closing costs. And what does this do for you, Janice?
Well, it helps me negotiate. That's really the best way to say it. It really helps me to, puts me in a position to help my client make their best offer. And why is that the case? With this being the seller's market, which we're going to talk about, you know, on a couple of, in a few minutes or another show, with it being a seller's market, that means that we have to make the best offer that we possibly can. But how do you do that when you're especially so used, and the clients are so used of hearing from their family members or anybody else that have previously bought homes that the seller always participated in contributing, you know, for closing costs. Well, those days have been gone. Every situation, of course, is different, but with this First Place that we're able to use, we do not have to ask the seller for any closing costs. Well, Diana and I work together to know exactly how much money that's going to be, you know, so that we know that what kind of position. I know how to negotiate. I mean, whether or not I go over a couple of thousand to make sure that it puts the seller, that bottom line, because that's all the seller's ever going to look at. So yes, this First Place has really helped most realtors like me negotiate a better offer for the seller.
So what I'd like to talk to you first about are a couple of things. Number one, I'm going to give you an example of how it works. Mm-hmm. The way the assistance works is that the Housing Authority will make you a loan for 6% of the sales price of the property. So let's take a $200,000 purchase price. So 6% of $200,000 is $12,000. The loan program is an FHA loan program, so the down payment is 3.5% of the purchase price. So of that $12,000, $7,000 is going to cover the down payment. That leaves $5,000 for closing costs and prepaids, more than enough. That is how, in many cases, in those situations, the borrower at closing ends up maybe getting their earnest money back and their home inspection and their appraisal fee, because this loan is awesome. What else is superb about the loan is that there is no interest, there are no monthly payments, and if you happen to stay there long enough, the state will actually forgive the debt and you don't have to pay it back. So it is one of those things, because the barrier, one of the largest barriers to homeownership for especially a lot of families, is the money in which to do so, especially through COVID right now. Even when people have money, they want to hold on to it, which is understandable, but we all have to live somewhere. And so keep in mind that that program is available. Not all lenders offer it. I do know that Fairway does.
Absolutely, Diana. And real quickly, I think we have enough time to talk about maybe a couple of other programs that I still call it Indiana Housing has. So what about a repeat customer, someone who's not a first home?
Excellent question.
Okay.
That program, excuse me, is called Next Home. Mm-hmm. So that's a program that can be used by both a first-time home buyer or, as Janice said, a non-first-time home buyer. In that program, the state will give you a loan for your down payment, 3.5% of the purchase price. So then all you have to come up with are your closing costs. If you're selling a house, that keeps your out-of-pocket money very limited. If you have limited funds, you know, we normally can kind of scurry around and figure out how to get those closing costs covered for you. You contributing, of course. Janice works her magic with the seller, of course. And then you may have to just talk to a family member and get a gift. But anyway, we can work with you through that loan program also. Now, one of the best things, and I just have to say, I know of no one that offers anything any better or remotely close, with the housing programs, they serve a market, a much larger market. So not only do they serve the low mod market, I would say they serve the mod market, because if you are making as much as $82,000 a year, your household of one or two, you can qualify for this program, and up to $94,000 a year with a household of three or more. And then the purchase price of the home can be as much as $315,000. These are general numbers. Interest rates are typically in the low threes, fixed rate. I mean, it is awesome,
It's
you
a
guys. It is
win-win.
one of the best kept secrets in Indianapolis.
It really is.
And it is a statewide program, so we can serve even anyone living in Indiana. So we definitely want you to be aware of the program. And our guest today, Felicia Wilson, will be talking to you about her experience also in using the program.
Absolutely.
What else would we like to share about this wonderful program?
Well, what the next home, what really worked for us, we know,
Yes.
was when we had the recession.
Yeah.
And people still maybe had to sell their home, needed to sell their home, whatever the case may be. But again, maybe the appreciation, there wasn't as much appreciation. So, a person wants to buy a next home.
Yeah.
So this really helped out also in this situation because they were able to have down payment assistance. Again, just because you have a home and you want to move into a next home, still every situation is different, but we don't know what may be needed to help you get into that next home. So Indiana Housing also helped with that. So, and the fact that you've owned a home before. So that's a win-win.
Very much a win-win. They have one last program. I'm going to talk really fast. It's called the Mortgage Credit Certificate.
Oh, yes.
It's wonderful. Again, not all lenders offer these programs, guys, so you can always reach out to me. But the Mortgage Credit Certificate program operates sort of like a rebate of a percentage of the mortgage interest that you pay on your mortgage. Again, only for first-time home buyers. Certainly something you should look into.
So call Diana.
Has it been a nightmare trying to buy, build, sell, or refinance a home? Then wake up to the Real Estate Dream Team of Janice Bradley and Diana Rice Wilkerson. This dynamic duo provides you with up-to-date, honest information, credit counseling, financing options, and more. Don't listen to haters who say, you can't own your own home. Yes, you can. With Janice and Diana, call now and listen for them on the Home and Finance Show, Saturdays, 1 p.m. on WTLC AM 1310 The Light.
Welcome to the Home and Finance Show. We are your host. I'm Diana Rice Wilkerson with Fairway Independent Mortgage, and my co-host and partner in crime.
Good morning, I'm Janice Bradley with JB Real Estate Consultants.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so excited to be here. We have a special day for you, and we have a special guest for you. But before we introduce our guest, Janice, what's happening with the real estate market real quick?
One thing about the real estate period, which never ceases to amaze me, and I've been in the business, it'll be, we'll say 30 plus. But I used to always panic, when January came. Oh my God, January is here. Where is the business? January the 1st, I get a phone call. So real estate is real estate, and spring begins in January. Has it already has it continued to be a seller's market? I'm going to talk a little bit more about that at another show, but yes, I sold 2 houses already this week. What day is today, Thursday? Yeah, so that's a good thing.
That is a great thing.
That's a good thing.
And interest rates are also wonderful. First-time homebuyer program is popping, and so we have plenty of money. So if you're thinking about buying a home this year, this is the time. It is 2021. Also, Happy New Year. And if you have that tax refund check coming and you're thinking about making a down payment with it, we say hold on to it. That is a very good thing. We have a very special guest for you today, and this is one of our special first-time homebuyers that closed in late 2020. And so she's here to tell her story. Janice, I'm going to let you introduce her, and then we are going to get into some details, but I think you will be very blessed by her story today.
Exactly. And her name is Felicia Wilson. Hello, Felicia.
Hello.
Welcome to the Home and Finance Show.
Hi guys, how are you guys doing?
We are great, and we are so thankful that you have this opportunity to share with us your story. So what we'd like you to do, first of all, Felicia, because this is exciting to us, obviously, share with us how you happen to work with Diana and I. Give us that little story.
Oh, sure. So, honestly, when I first started the whole process, I was actually working with some different people at that point in time. I've stayed prayed up in the whole entire situation from start to jump So I felt like I was with the right people because I'm staying prayed up with the situation. Some things happened with the realtor I was working with previously. Things happened, changed with COVID. When things changed with COVID, of course, that's also when the credit score changed as well. I was not aware of this change. My realtor didn't tell me at the time about the change at all. And I'm thinking to myself, this is too big of a process for me not to trust somebody in the process. So I did the wrong thing first. I start trying to handle it on my own before going up to God with it, which is bad on me. So I start all night long. I was up trying to look for a realtor, trying to be on social media. Who do you guys know as realtors and things of that nature, doing the research on my own. I was just racking my head crazy trying to find a new person that I would actually trust for this. And, God told me at that point in time, be still. And I said to God, like, how am I going to be still? How am I going to be still with this? Because, they're going to just walk up to me in the middle of the street, a realtor, and tell me what's going on. And he said, be still. But I was like, but God, you said I can try to get rid of, but can I really do it? The very next day, God is my witness, I'm on my way to get something to eat at Panda Express. I'll never forget it like it was yesterday. And what God said happened. I was listening to the radio station, and you two, the duo, not the trio, the duo was on the phone, on the phone line, on the radio station. I called in just to really, you guys knew what you guys were talking about. And I like the way that Miss Diane, she was just saying about, the responsibilities and about what you guys expect out of you guys as people and what you expect for your people to do for you guys to help assist. And so I called into you guys on the radio station, and I remember me asking you guys, because I'm praying about this whole situation, like, well, can I fire somebody? Because I really didn't feel comfortable with the people that I was messing with, and I never had a house before, so I didn't know anything about the processes. And I remember you guys telling me, yes, you can. If you don't feel comfortable, go ahead and do what you have to do. You have to be able to trust the people you're with. And then you guys offered me you guys' number, and it was smooth selling ever since. And I remember the conversation I had with Miss Diane. She even said on the radio, she said, I may not call back real quick because we have a lot of people, but I like the transparency that she was able to provide. And she didn't call back the very same day, but the day that she did call back, which is only about 24 hours later, it wasn't that long at all. But the time that she did, she was so open, and she really put it to a simple level for me to understand the process, because I don't have someone holding my hand with the process. And so I told her, I said, you have to hold my hand. And that's exactly what you guys did. I'm so grateful to God that I met you guys on that radio station that day.
Good, excellent,
you.
excellent. Well, talk to us about your home search too. So with me, you and I worked together, got you pre-approved, and then we kind of just, hey,
I'm sorry, I can't
right
really hear
Janice.
the person talking.
She said, could you share with us about your home search?
Oh my goodness, yes, I sure can. I call you guys the trio because God's first, dynamic trio, God's first, and you guys are second and third. I had to stay prayed up, to be honest with you, because I thought that with the pandemic that it would have slowed it down, and that was opposite. It's a fast market, and I knew nothing about the market. So I went to go see about 7 houses. We put in bids, and I thank you, Miss Janice. So I call you like my Auntie Janice, the auntie I never had. Every house, Miss Janice, I mean, you were there to go look at them for me. It doesn't matter if it's house number 2, 3, 4, 5. And you were very transparent going into these homes, and we were very careful because of the pandemic, and you respected my prayer and my faith calling throughout the conversations. And I was very strict with Miss Janice. I would have to say I had a list. And I was like, you know what? God told me, if God telling me that I can do this, we about to do this. And so I had a list I put in my Bible.
Input here because of the fact that I knew you had been unhappy with the previous realtor for whatever reason. So I have to share with you, when you did bring me this list, I told Diana, I said, well, I think she's going to fire me too. So, before we even get to it. So talk a little bit real quickly, if you can, Felicia, about, because you did learn that it was a seller's market. And there were times, as you can remember, that it was almost like an open house, correct? Well, okay. So share with me how that made you feel.
Yeah, there were, I liked the Pacific neighborhoods. I thought neighborhoods were very important to me, and the township schools were very important to me because I have a 13-year-old daughter. And so the houses that we went to go see, they were in high demand. So high demand that we would go to the appointments for these houses, and I literally have to wait because somebody else is inside the house. The family's inside the house looking. Sometimes they go in our time frame a little bit, not too much, but they do sometimes. And there's also, when I'm waiting for me to get in the house, there's other cars traveling looking at the house that make appointments. And then about the time I come in, there's somebody's waiting for us to come out the house. So it was like a revolving door. It made me feel, I'm glad you asked that question, because that's how the devil tries to get in your head. Because it almost makes you feel like what God already told me that was going to happen. It makes you start second guessing the happening sometimes. And that's why you have to stay prayerful and solid and on solid ground throughout this entire process. Because it made me feel like, am I good enough? Are these people better than me to have this house? Are their credit better than me? Is there, I'm a single mother with one income. It makes you second guess the process. Especially once you lost bids and you go over on the bid and you still lost the bid. Okay, so questions start to happen, and that's why it's important to have great realtors and a great team and having God on your side to say that, hey, my promise is my promise. And I gave you people on your path that's going to help you with this promise. Just trust in my way and it's going to work out. And it worked out above my expectations.
That's awesome.
See if you.
Can you hear me?
Can you still not hear Diana?
I cannot hear her, but I can hear you fine now.
Okay, that's great. Okay. So when did you decide that it was time to buy a home, Felicia? What took place? What was the aha moment?
Yes. So previously to me buying my home, I was staying in a condo. I've been in a condo for 12 years. Condo was in a safe place and everything, and it was good and everything, and I had yard I didn't have to cut and stuff, so that part was good for myself. But it was time for me to move on because I was renting for so many years, I could have paid off the condo. And then when it was time for, do you want to buy the condo? It was like I should have already been bought by now. So then I wanted to invest in myself, in my future with my child. I start looking the bad way first. We always go one direction, then we find out it's not the right one. I start looking at apartments first. And when I start pricing these apartments, the ones that I would like in the right areas that I would like, it was like the apartments cost over $1,300 and the smaller than my condo was. And I said to myself, this can't be it. And I had a conversation with my older brother, Rick, and I was like, listen, he was like, you might as well start trying to find a house. And I was like, well, how can I try to find a house I start second guessing myself. But he was right. You're going to pay that much and I'm going to have smaller space. And then I don't want to hear neighbors anymore.
Very good. And that's exactly why we are so grateful that you are sharing your story. Because again, a lot of people, as single people, say, I can't do this by myself. And people worry about their credit. You're bringing out all the points points about home buying, the home buying process is fearful because
Can I make
it's
one
the
more thing I
unknown.
forgot?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, but I forgot to tell, I want people to know that when the home thing came in my head, what God told me I could do, I started off at that point in time with negative in my bank account. And I was going to be transparent about that because buying a home also helped me be more financial literate, which that helps as well. But I started off with negative in my bank account, with not a dollar in my name, and credit wasn't that great when I started. So, yeah.
Well, that's one of the reasons why we always share to start early. So you can see, I always say you need to know where you're coming from in order to know where you're going to. You know, that type of thing. Now, you made a comment about your financial situation. So share real quickly about your financing. How much did you have to pay for your home? Not necessarily you're paying. I'm just really trying to get to the point as far as out-of-pocket money. So did you have to come up with your own down payment? Did you have to pay your own closing costs? So give us that.
God is good, girl. Let me start off right there. I did not know. I had the financial assistance program. Diana had me. That's another thing. I knew I was the right people because she got me approved for more than the last people did. Those Tucker people did. I don't know if I'm supposed to say the name. I'm sorry, but she got me approved for a lot more money than they did, and she got me the deposit assistance program. And let me tell y'all this. She broke it down to me about what it is, okay? About the terms, about if you stay here for this long, you have to pay it back, and so forth. And I was so stoked that I had that program. I'm trying to tell y'all this. God is so good and so able because I was able to go to my closing, to my house, and I got money back. I said, won't he do it? I didn't have to bring up money to my closing, and I actually gave me money back at my closing. And I thank that program. Honest, I thank Diane for her work for finding it for me.
Absolutely.
Fairway for doing, asked me what they needed. Y'all know I was quick on my feet to get what y'all wanted because I wanted to be quick.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, that is exactly why we do have you on the program, because so many people do not know what's going on as far as the down payment assistance, and that has been very, very helpful. We do want to share with everyone. Every situation is different, so and it's not necessarily you're going to always get money back at closing. So we want to share that, but every situation is different. So I guess what I would like you to do, and as far as ending maybe the conversation. So what's the takeaway? What would you share with our listening audience or anyone that has not bought a home before?
I would say if you're going to buy a home, make sure you buy a home with people you trust. It's too big of a life-changing situation for you to put it with somebody that you're unaware of. Don't be like me at the beginning. And don't go researching on your own. Stay prayed up. And if God told you he's going to do it, he's going to do it. And if he told you he's going to bring people like Diana and Janice and the financial assistance program and people at the company that I had that was so working with me, he's going to do it. And that's why you want to stay on solid ground and not sinking sand. Because when you do, your list that you write out, you may not have to the bit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off that list. God can go over your list and over your expectations. So go ahead and trust in the process. Have people you trust, like the ladies that are here. I call them dynamic trio. God first, y'all second and third, because it's too much of a life-changing, and I'm so grateful of my life-changing situation that God provided me. I can do it. You can do it.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Felicia. We really, really, really do appreciate it. And we know you have a wonderful home, a lovely home. I know your daughter's very, very, very happy. So again, we just wish you all the luck and in your new chapter in life.
Thank you guys so much. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much.
We love you too.
Love you too.
We love you too.
And Janice, that story is just unbelievable, unbelievable. And listening audience, can be done for you. I mean, this can be done for you. As Felicia said, the first team that she worked with, she was not aware of the down payment assistance or
Right.
possibly the program that they were using. They did not. They were not going to be giving her as much money. And how that impacts you is you may not be able to buy the home that you're actually wanting to live in. Another thing she said, this is a big deal. And so you want to work with a team you trust. It does not have to be Janice and Diana. There are other excellent teams out there, but it's a personal thing. If you're not feeling good about whoever's representing you, then I would suggest that you might want to look at getting somebody else on board. Because once you close, it's you, your house, and your mortgage payment. And you don't want to have any regrets.
And you know, real quickly, Diana, I remember this conversation so well when she called in. And that day, you happened to be talking about the COVID situations
Yeah.
because immediately when it happened, when COVID was in full force, the lenders started making a lot of changes, and you know, with the credit and so on. And I think you were sharing that information because it was like, okay, yesterday was yesterday, but today's today. And she felt like that should have been shared because you definitely started looking with your customers and everything to see exactly where they were. Maybe there's something they're going to have to do different or what have you because of COVID. So that was where the blessing also came in with her.
Right.
Is because she made a comment about her credit score,
Right.
which, you know, I'm not privy to, but obviously she felt like, okay, this could affect my home buying process.
Exactly, exactly. And it just was one of those situations also where with COVID, everything was moving at rapid speed. It was really, really, really difficult to get all of the information out. But again, the main thing is that we want you to be comfortable. The other thing is just one tip, you guys. Stay in contact with your lender and your realtor. Initiate phone calls with them. I know right now the industry's overwhelmed because we have this low inventory, low interest rates. Everyone wants to refinance. Everyone wants to buy a house. So if you're in that process right now, I would say reach out to your trusted professionals and stay in contact with them. And thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Has it been a nightmare trying to buy, build, sell, or refinance a home? Then wake up to the Real Estate Dream Team of Janice Bradley and Diana Rice Wilkerson. This dynamic duo provides you with up-to-date, honest information, credit counseling, financing options, and more. Don't listen to haters who say, you can't own your own home. Yes, you can. With Janice and Diana, call now and listen for them on the Home and Finance Show, Saturdays, 1 p.m. on WTLC AM 1310 The Light.